Ohayo gozaimasu. Hajime mashite. I am Dr. Linda Joy Rose, and I'm going to speak to you a little today about the program that I'll be offering for the Japan Medical Hypnosis Association at the end of October, which is called Hypno Coaching. Now, what's very interesting and synchronistic about the date is that I'll be doing this presentation at the end of October, and just a few days later, November would be 30 years from the time that I first arrived in Japan and started training hypnotherapists. So in November of 1992, I trained the very first hypnotherapists in Japan. And for many years after, I trained hundreds of hypnotherapists. So it's a good chance that if you're watching this video that I may have trained you or have trained the person that you received your training from. So it's very nice to meet you. And I want to share some information with you about what I'm going to be doing. So let me share my screen with you. Okay, so the title of the event that I'm going to be doing is called Hypno Coaching, the New Frontier in Client Care. And it's for the Japan Medical Hypnosis Association. And just to see that there is an association 30 years later that is offering these types of services is very heartwarming for me. Now, the real purpose of hypno coaching is that it is a more holistic way to ensure better results for behavioral modification. So I am Linda Joy Rose, PhD. They usually call me in the United States, Dr. LJ. And in Japan, of course, I was known as Linda Sensei. So let me give you a little bit of background into how I came about with the hypno coaching. So in the years that I stopped teaching in Japan, I was getting progressively sicker and sicker. And it turned out I had an autoimmune disorder. And by doing research, I found that I really needed to change my lifestyle, the way that I was eating, the way that I was treating my body. And as a result, I started to feel better so quickly that I wrote a book about what I had discovered, this book, Raw Fusion Living. And this was in about 2010 when the book came out, and a lot of people started to ask me to do trainings for them. And sorry, my dog is here and dropped something on the floor. So that's the sound that you hear. And so I realized that health coaching was something important. It was becoming much more popular in the United States. So in the year 2013, I founded the Natural Wellness Academy. So right now we're in about our 10th year. And the very first courses that we offered were in holistic health coaching. However, we also offered the mind dynamics, because what I was discovering is that when you're working with people in health coaching, and there's a lot of other coaching niches and programs that we do, but in anything that you're helping a person want to improve their lives, unless you have access, and you know this very well being hypnotherapists, unless you have access to the subconscious mind, you are limited into how much you're going to be able to help them make those positive, life-affirming behavioral changes, those habits that are going to stick. And so that was what was very unique about the Natural Wellness Academy, and it really caught on. And we have since gone on to add many other courses, and some of them have hypnotherapy as part of the course. So just, you know about hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is communication to the subconscious mind in order to bring about a change in perception, self-image, emotions, and habits. Now, the client orientation in the hypnotic state is they are passive. They're dependent upon the therapist to be the expert. And what is lacking in hypnotherapy is that lifestyle guidance and accountability that's going to make some of those new behaviors stick. Now, coaching, which is still one of the fastest growing professions in the United States, coaching is a collaborative relationship where the client is empowered by receiving information and inspiration for setting goals for these potential lifestyle changes. So the client is held accountable within this coaching relationship. So the client orientation is more active. They're proactive and accountable. However, what's lacking here is the access to the subconscious mind in order to make those new habits stick through the power of suggestion. So really, hypno coaching for me is the best of both worlds, and what I have been promoting much more in the last few years. For an example, if you have a client that visits you because they need help with weight management or weight control, giving them suggestions can be very effective, but really it's the lifestyle, it's their lifestyle that plays a key role. So for instance, we teach about bio-individuality, that not one way of eating fits every single person. You have people in a whole variety of different ways. You hear about people on the paleo diet and the keto diet and the Mediterranean and so many different. And so you work with the client to find what works for them, whether it's in weight management or anything else. And you set goals and you make them accountable to you. So this is really a two-pronged approach, and it does generate better results over the long term. So in this webinar that I'm going to be doing with you at the end of October, we're going to be covering that difference. I'll go into more details about the coaching relationship and talk about goal setting. I'm going to teach you a really easy to use circle technique, and you're going to be able to right away start using it. I'll do a sample session with you, and then you guys will have a breakout practice. I'm going to teach you the concept of permission levels, which is going to measure your client's readiness for change. And this is just an example of that goal setting sheet. Now, another thing that I want to cover in this webinar is that in all the years that I was teaching hypnosis, hypnosis deals with more of the intangible factors such as mind and consciousness, willpower, suggestion. They're not tangible items that you can really put your finger on. So what I have done over the years is I've become a lot more knowledgeable in neuroanatomy, because there are many parts within the brain that are involved in habit formation and in forming those neural nets that tend to govern our behavior, and also the neurochemistry. You have the neurotransmitters that determine the reaction and the repetition. So as cortisol is moving through the synapses and the receptors in your body, dopamine and serotonin, these are also deepening these neural nets. And so we're going to discuss that too. So I'm going to look forward to seeing you in October, on October 30th. And if you'd like more information about the Natural Wellness Academy, this is our website, and you can reach out to me also by Gmail. So that's my Gmail, and I am going to stop the recording, and I look forward to seeing you. Have a wonderful day.